Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome, and good morning. And hope you're all doing well. I'm hoping my computer is doing all right. I'm utilizing a different laptop. Had some issues with my personal laptop, so I'm using a slightly different one. Looks like it's okay. I know the color is a little off. I'm gonna have to figure out an app I can load on here or some software so that I can tinker with the settings on the camera. But other than that, I think we're doing okay. I got 8 friends in the chat. I don't have any kids and I don't have a coffee. So I'm definitely starting the morning off askew. But the main reason I'm doing that is because I'm surrounded by comic books. I got comics everywhere. I got piles all around me. A couple of my really good friends, BiggieShaq and Jeffrey KomiKhan, have been launching and encouraging those of us in the community to start looking at our top 50 books that we own, our favorite books in our collection. And there's a ton of ways to look at this, and I thought it would be a fun thing to do this morning and let my girls sleep in a little bit. They've been busy with sports. Kate's been freshman volleyball champ, and Charlie's been some club soccer champing. So there's a lot of exciting stuff going on sports wise. That's going to be our weekend. We just have a much later start to Charlie's soccer weekend, and it's made it so that I can at least hang out with you all and share some fun comics and just chat it up. So good morning to you all, and let's get everybody. Let's check and see who's hanging out in the chat. I thought I saw some good friends tailgating here this morning. Got the logos going this morning. And let's see who was first that I saw was Bronze Page. Got the notification bell because that is 2 minutes exactly after the 30-minute warning they usually send on YouTube. So that is somebody got the notification bell click, just like Legion. And I know Mark, big fan of that crossover that I used for my thumbnail. And I will definitely be mentioning that book because it's really just a highlighting of two of my favorite series coming together, right? Big Will has arrived, and there are definitely some comic books in my collection that I'm sharing this morning that I owe to this gentleman right here who gave me good deals on them and was an awesome friend for hooking me up. This person is very clever, knows my collection, knows what's up, but he's wrong. Oh, stunner. Just be ready. Giant Size X-Men is still in the box. Did not take it out for this. Be ready. And BiggieShaq would know why. Here we go. The Kate and Charlie Show. The Kate and Charlie Show. Eat a bagel, pet a beagle, and watch the Kate and Charlie Show. I got no bagels. They're down the hall because I don't think the girls are going to wake up in time. Don't have any beagles just because we don't have any pets yet. But you can watch this show. It's just going to be me. I don't think anybody's going to wake up in time. And if they do, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Who knows? Who knows? It's hard to know. Dre is here. What is going on? Good morning to you. I hope your weekend is kicking off well. Dale of Suspense. Good morning to you. We got Jennifer from Comics Will Break Your Heart and the Casually Comics Authority. So I got my shirt going. It should be a little greener. I'm sorry, it's a little muddled this morning. Yeah. The camera looks clear. Okay, that's at least something. It's not that far off. I am a pale person. Yes, this is true. I try to adjust it so I look a little more tan. There's not much you can do about that. Can't fix ugly. And what is going on, Old Wolf? How you doing, man? Yeah, it's a sports ball weekend every weekend now. Every weekend is volleyball and or soccer. This weekend, mainly soccer. Got game tonight, got a game tomorrow. So busy. So let's talk about top 50. I left the link for BiggieShaq's channel and for Jeffrey's channel because they've been sort of reminding us all of the old days when we used to post a video and say, hey, show me these books. And then other people would chime in and you'd get a series of videos all talking about, whatever. It's kind of like the Bearded and Cole cover challenges that they've been doing. The difference is this one with Biggie and Jeffrey is very open to interpretation. They're saying top 50. It doesn't mean the most valuable 50 books in your collection. It doesn't mean the 50 best covers in your collection. It doesn't mean the 50 best stories in your collection. So I've done similar videos in the past. If you go back through my channel, there's a handful of years ago where I did groups of 10, I think. 10 favorite indie stories, 10 favorite Batman stories, X-Men stories, whatever. And I just focused on the stories. This morning, I just pulled books. So we're going to look at kind of individual books, or in some cases, I might cheat and put 2 or 3 together and say, these 3, that kind of thing. I'm sure if I were to do this list tomorrow, I would have completely different books. And I'm sure if I did it in a year from now, that would also change as well. So this is very much of the moment for me. You could do this list and get different books from us as collectors quite often. Even now I'm thinking like, oh, I probably could have pulled that. I could have No, I'm going to stick with what I got. And what I've got are some clusters. So I got a Batman pile right here. So Bearded Comic Bro, be ready. I got a DC Universe pile down there. I got some street level Marvel guys over here. I got some indies down on the floor behind me. I got X-Men, I got Avengers, and I got a honorable mentions as well if I ever get to them. We'll see how that works out. The biggest pile overall is kind of Avengers because there's a lot of characters that just fit into that group. So I'm going to pull that pile over here. Some Avengers stuff here. Avengers related is what I'm really going to say. There we go. I'm going to start off with I'm a Bearded Comic Bro is waiting for you to pull out Super Bro. He can wait it might be a long time. That might be a really consistently long wait. So I recently posted that I got a copy of this book, and I really love the original Secret Wars. It's just something that is a ton of nostalgia for me. I love the Mike Zeck artwork. I do get super frustrated and cringe a little bit at the way they use the Wasp. I really do think Janet gets the short end of the stick. And in general, the female characters get the short end of the stick overall. They use Captain Marvel well. This is not the Carol Danvers version. This is the Photon version of Captain Marvel, right? The Monica Rambeau. They use her really well. They use She-Hulk pretty well. Storm a little bit. But in general, the female characters tend to get somewhat sidelined. And that's my biggest critique. But this cover is just an absolute favorite. So much so that I even had Mike Zeck sign my OG copy from when I was a kid in Baltimore when I went. This is the book that made me realize how amazing Dr. Doom is as a character. I just absolutely adore this particular story for Doom. The ways in which they really help you understand the kind of person Doom is, for sure. Yeah, so it's just 50 of my favorites. I don't have a way to quantify value in the sense of like monetary value. I think that would be a really challenging thing to do. What's going on, Nigel? Good to see you. And Super Russ, good to see you. There's definitely Spider-Man in the street level hero section, so do not be afraid. So yeah, as far as monetary, there's definitely more. There are probably way more valuable books than the ones I'm going to share, but it's more of value to me, right? And Doom in Secret Wars, way high on that list of value. I don't know. The trick of this is going to be putting books where they go. But let's go a little older Avengers. This is the oldest Avengers book I've got. This is issue 2 of the Avengers. Kirby Stan Lee classic. I've been working on this run. I am missing the biggest ones in the run, 1 and 4, but I have basically the first 20 outside of those issues. I decided to share issue 2 because this was an amazing gift from Steve Whiting in Florida. An absolutely incredible guy, and I still can't believe he gifted me a copy of Avengers number 2. I just don't know who does that. Steve Whiting's the guy that does that. But I do love, there's a ton of nostalgia for me in these. I've read these issues a ton. These early issues were sort of, seminal Marvel joy for me. So had to include some early Avengers in this Avengers list. Chet says he wants some 9/8s. He's looking for some 9/8s. There will be 9/8s. Not a ton, but there will be some for sure. Stephen M., good morning to you. How's it going? Aggressively relaxing. How's it going? Excited to see what John has on the list. So this is the second book, number two of 50 right here, and it's Avengers 2. I'm going through kind of an Avengers pile to get us kind of kicked off here. And I might skip around a little bit. Doom and these early Team Avenger books are just really high on my list. So there we go. I agree, Chet. Very serious gift. Let's talk about Cap. So I'm going to count this as 2 books as 1. So this is number 3 on my list. I love this Brubaker series. If you've not read the Captain America Brubaker run, they sell a very large trade paperback. They're always reprinting it, and it's worth every penny. It is absolutely fantastic. This is issue 6, of course, the first appearance of Bucky as the Winter Soldier, and it's this great, they've got this sort of great mirrored cover set here with Bucky in Russia and Cap in Germany during the war, and the plane in the background. The one I've got of Bucky here has Brubaker and Epting signatures on it. You can kind of see the signs on here. I truly think this is just an absolute iconic read, worth every penny. Just absolutely phenomenal, and is my favorite Captain America read. Like if I was going to pick up a Captain America story to read, this is number 1 on the pile for me, for sure. Backseat Driver is here. Salute to you. Hope you're having a great weekend. Hope you're enjoying yourself a little bit. So yeah, Captain America. This is issue 6 from the Brubaker run. This is the variant, and this is the cover A here with Cap and oh my gosh, I already forgot. Baron Zemo. So there you go, my third pick. So I got to keep track, because if I'm not counting correctly, I'm probably going to go over. So just watch. My top 50 comics would be Torn and missing covers. I definitely have some that are in that state, but we will see. We'll see how low the numbers might get on some of these. So let's go back to more modern runs. I love Tom King's Vision, and of all the covers in this run, and there's a ton of great ones, this one is my personal favorite. So this is the one where all the different Scarlet Witches are sort of surrounding Vision and trying to reach into his heart, and you can just see the sadness on his face. This is just a masterpiece of a cover. I absolutely fantastic series. So again, this is not a book that's worth a lot of money. You could probably get this for less than $10 shipped if you found a really nice copy. I just truly think this is worth the read, taking the time to enjoy what Tom King did here. And then this cover in particular it's just beautiful. It's just gorgeous. The use of the color red, of course, but the perspective, the angle up from above looking down, and the face of, it's just beautiful. 15 minutes in and 4 books. We're getting a 9-hour show. There you go. So there you go. That's the 4th one, right? Am I on 4? You keep track, JP. You're in charge. 5th one is my favorite Art Germ cover. So this is Jane Foster as Thor. This is the not final issue, because they went to 706. This is the second to last issue. This is the death of Jane Foster as Thor. And this one's signed by Jason Aaron. I just adore this art. This is what Art Germ is made to do. Again, the perspective, the lighting, this is just stunning. And for me, every time I think of this run, I think of this cover. I'm still on the hunt for a Virgin variant of this. There's not a ton of them. It was a low print run, and they tend to run a lot of money. But at some point, I'm going to snag the Virgin variant of this to go along with it, because it's just a beauty. John, read Cap 248 to 254 if you can. It's a Bronze Age run. All right, well, there you go. Add it to the list. Bobby, what's going on? And then this guy, I left his link down below. Jeffrey, what's going on? I'm doing my top 50, trying to get through it. Carrie's in the chat. What's going on? Happy Saturday. Oh, see, I need my coffee. I didn't want to wake everybody. If for those that are following along, my bedroom is the living room now, and the kitchen's right. If I make coffee in the morning, I'm going to wake my wife. So I'm trying to be a good husband and not do that in the morning. But I really wish I got water. Is what I got. I got water. All right, JP, I think that puts me at 5. You can check me if I'm wrong. 6, Hawkeye and this amazing Fraction and Asia run, or Asia, I think it's pronounced Asia. Absolutely perfect run. And this, of course, is the issue from that run that is most iconic. The pizza dog issue, where the entire issue is told from the perspective of a dog, and there's almost no discernible dialogue that you can understand because the dog can't understand, except maybe certain words like pizza or its name or whatever. So this is just another really iconic Avengers era run, or Avengers adjacent run. And this book in particular is the banger in the run for me. By that I mean a great read, and you should check it out. So there's 6, JP. I'm moving a little faster now. Let's see. We will segue a little bit from Avengers into. Oh no, I got one more Avenger. Sorry, New Avengers. I love Bendis's New Avengers. I know there are Bendis haters out there. I am not a Bendis hater. I'm a big Bendis fan. And this original New Avengers run, the first round he did of New Avengers, is so phenomenal. And it's mostly because I love this character. I have his first appearance. I could have pulled the slab out, but that book doesn't mean as much to me as this when he appears in this run, locked in jail, locked inside of his own mind. I do love Bob Reynolds. I think he's just a really great character. I like the Sentry. I think he got done dirty in Absolute Carnage, but I think it's mostly because of how bad how harsh he was when he killed Carnage. So I think it was like a turnabout is fair play kind of thing, but I do feel like they have not brought him back yet in a way that is worthy of the character. And this New Avengers run, if you haven't read it, totally worth it. Hello to my neighbor to the north. Happy Saturday to you, Actual Dracula. Hope things are going well. Hope you're doing all right. Yeah, so I have this full run by Bendis. I think it's just a great read. I like Bendis's early Marvel stuff a ton. His Ultimate Spider-Man stuff I love. I love this run. I love his Daredevil. So a lot of his early stuff I love. They're asleep. Kate went to a Saddleback versus Cal State Fullerton college volleyball game last night. Was out a little late with her friend, so she's probably still asleep, but enjoyed the game and had a really good time. And then Charlie is still snoozing away. I doubt they're going to make it this morning, but we shall see. And last sort of segueing away from the typical Avengers stuff, I'm getting over to Fantastic Four. And I really just have one FF book that I adore. And it's This Man, This Monster. For me, this is the bleeding heart core of what I like about the Fantastic Four. And that's Ben Grimm. I think Ben Grimm gets overshadowed, I think, sometimes by Reed and Sue, but I think he's the heart of this team. And I think this issue, this cover, this pose, This Man, This Monster is one of my favorites. And I was so glad to get a copy. I think I got this from Discovery Bay. So glad I got this. Am I on number 9 already? Okay. I'm moving along a little faster. You spurred me on, JP. I'm going a little faster. So if you haven't read this era, the 10 issues basically from I think it's Inhumans all the way through Black Panther. You get the first Inhumans, Black Bolt, Silver Surfer, Galactus, this book here, T'Challa. There's about 10 issues in a row where Fantastic Four made the world understand what a great book it could be. And I think this is, in my opinion, the best book in the run. There you go. So love it, love it, love it. And then also adjacent, I'm going to throw in a hot variant. So here's your first 9/8 Chet. I'm going to pop the panties off of this one here for you. And I show this book a lot because I just love the artwork. Marcos Martin, Silver Surfer 2, 1 and I think it's a 1 in 25 variant. It's hard to see all the detail work going on in this cover. It is just a stunning piece. Simple colors, black and white, but the detail work that Marcos Martin did here on a run that I love. I do really love Silver Surfer Black. Just a beauty. And so this, I had to include this as a cover. You know, some of these are story buys. This is definitely more of a cover buy, but I do love the story as well. Big Will says, read Alex Ross's Full Circle. It takes place after 51 is off. And you know what? I saw that at my shop. They had the hardcover. I should definitely check that out. So thanks for the reminder, Big Will. I appreciate that. Yeah, well, there you go. So I bought this myself off the shelf. I had it pressed and cleaned and slabbed. So this was all me from top to bottom, and absolutely happy that it came out at 9/8 and that I got it. Let's see here. Is Matt still in the chat? Maybe I'll do the Spider-Mans if Matt is still here. If not, we'll figure it out. I don't know if Maddie is still around. Mr. Comics 89 likes Spider-Man, so I'll get some of those ready. But I also have a ton of X-Men, so I could definitely do a little bit of that X-Men stack at some point. I think I'm through 10 now, JP. Is that where we're at? Or 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That looks like 8 to me, JP. Oh, wait. Did I not count? I didn't count the other slide. That's 9. You're right. It's 9. He's here. He's painting as he watches. All right. Well, here you go. I have to include this book as my namesake. Yes. Amazing Spider-Man 124, the first appearance of the Man-Wolf, John Jameson. That's me. Not Spider-Man. I mean, that the Wolfman is me. And my buddy Varangian Vigilante sent me the German version of the book as well. So I have this book in 2 languages. Absolutely love this era of Spider-Man the same way I love that era of Fantastic Four I just got done mentioning. So this is not a crazy expensive Spider-Man key. I mean, it's got a new villain, whatever, but like it's not about the value of the book for me. It's about the art inside, which I truly love. I believe is this Conway? This might be Conway. But I do love this era, and I will include with it a lot of the books in the 120s are absolutely great. So first appearance of Punisher is in there. So there's a ton of really good stuff in this run. And that includes another pair of books that I'm going to count as 1. So that was 10. This is going to be 11. These 2. The Death of Gwen Stacy, also in this run. And I really, really do love this from 120 all the way to 129. This is 10 phenomenal issues of Amazing Spider-Man that really reinvented the character. And I just when I got back into collecting, this was high on my list of what I wanted to purchase. I've got these, and I got a giant size X-Men because those were the books that meant the most to me as far as redefining each of their individual universes. So this redefined Spidey, just like giant size redefined the X-Men. So I'll call that 10 and then call this 11. Is that what we're doing? Perry's here. Was that Perry? No, I didn't see Perry. Where is he at? Somebody said hello to him. There he is. Sorry. Whoop. And Sleepy Reader too. Good morning, gentlemen. How are we doing? What? I'm John Jameson. I'm never going to do that stash. You can be sure of that. Finishing a Joker painting that's going to be for sale. There you go. There you go. So there we go. 10 and 11 are finished. I'm going to find holes for these. Then let's talk about my favorite. Well, I mean, I love John Romita Sr., but second to John Romita Sr. is Eric Larson. So here's 12. And this is my look for Venom. Venom should look like this. This is my Venom. I love this cover, and I just really do feel like everything Eric Larson did on Spider-Man, I really dug. There was just always a nostalgic kick for me I know everybody else was a McFarlane fan, and that's totally cool. I like McFarlane just fine, but he's not Eric Larson, and that's more my Spider-Man style. So this would be, what are we at now? 12, I think. I'm losing track. And then 13 is this cover, which I'm going to open up and share. I've got it in a clear backing board, but it's a fold-out cover. It's got like 4 pages. Revenge of the Sinister Six. There's my guy. Jay knows what's up. So this cover opens up nice and broad here, and you get to see all the villains and all the heroes involved. It's just it's a buck wild story arc that I really enjoyed. It's super 90s with like crazy random crossovers that you don't need. But I'm all about it. So JP says this is 14. Yeah, so this is all my jam. So this is how Spider-Man looks in my mind whenever I picture him. Super gangly, but still muscular. So somewhere in between, the Bagley and McFarlane is where Larson fits for me. That's me. Comic escaped from the bag. I know. Set the alarms off. Catch him. Good morning, Tony. How you doing this morning, sir? The best tongue in comics. I mean, okay. So JP says that this is 14. All right, we'll stop right there. 14. We will so that's my Spider-Man set. Those are the Spider-Mans. That's for my guy Matt in the chat. I'm gonna do a little bit of X-Men related stuff next. Let's see what I got here. I'm gonna pull. It doesn't mean Spider-Man's not in some of these other books. He's just not, the main dude. All right, okay. So I'm gonna start with Wolverine. If there was one book, it's probably gonna be this book. So this is a reprint of 180 and 181, and I've shared it a few times. They reprinted this as The Incredible Hulk and Wolverine issue 1, and it's another wraparound cover. I'm not gonna get the book out this time, chat. Don't worry. I'll just pull the backing board up a little bit. There we go, so that you can see that the back side you have Wendigo, right? The other half of this issue. This is just a really cool way for me as a kid to read this series. I just, as a kid, would never have been able to know this story without this fun reprint. And I read my cover to cover copy until it just fell apart. And then I got these as a grown-up. I want to say this might have come from Barbarian Kung Fu, Chad. I think Chad sent me this. Just a really cool book that as a kid, I read this a ton and loved it. And this is how I first saw Wolverine and got into his character. And then as I grew up, I started trying out other runs with him, right? Let me slide some stuff over. And included in those other runs is Barry Windsor Smith. Okay, so that was 15, 16. I believe this is 16. I love this Barry Windsor Smith. Now, my biggest complaint about this, and I don't know why I'm going to start with a complaint, but let's just do it, is the fact that the Barry Windsor Smith stories in this are really short, and there's other stuff in these issues. So the problem is what you tend to get is a lot of the other stuff. So there's Daredevil and Shayna, and I just feel like my frustration is that I would rather read all the Barry Windsor Smith's Wolverine stuff in one collected volume. And they do, at least they used to, sell those like trades where you would get just the Weapon X story. If I was reading it month to month in this form, I would get super frustrated because you'd get 5 pages and there's almost no writing. It's almost all visuals, and it's a very quick read, and then you're done with it. I absolutely adore the artwork. I absolutely adore the way they give this backstory to Wolverine. And anyone who hasn't taken the time to really enjoy this, you can find these books usually pretty cheap, except for the first issue. This is 72, the first one. And this is basically, the series is called Marvel Comics Presents. And it tells the story of Wolverine. But really cool story. Barry Windsor Smith. I keep saying his name because it's a cool name to say, but also he is the reason why this works. Did they? An oversized edition of the Weapon X. I need to find that, and I need to buy that. That is now on my list. There it is. I need to get this. I need to find this. Jay says, when I wanted to get Weapon X, just my luck, the price is soared. And yeah, see. And I don't have the full run. I have like 5 of them. But I definitely had to get the first. And then I got a few of the covers in the run that I really liked. So let's see. That was 15, 16, 17 right here. I know this is not for some people considered Wolverine, but it definitely is for me. And this is one of those books from Big Will. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but definitely love the Tom Taylor all new Wolverine. And this this homage cover is iconic. I know it blew up in value last year, but it is hard to separate my joy for this series, not have all these great variants in here. So good. There's Jeffrey saying it right. So this is a great read. I have the omnibus now. It's a great way to enjoy this because you can get the whole run. I think it's 35 issues all in one collected edition. Or if you have the Marvel app, you could read through this in no time. If you're enjoying Tom Taylor's Nightwing or Dark Ages or any of his other really great series, go back and give this one a shot. I think you will be surprised how amazing Laura Kinney or X-23 is as the all-new Wolverine. So good. I don't know how I missed that, Jay. What's wrong with me? I don't know how I missed that. So 15, 16, 17. All right, JP, I hope I'm doing all right. Trying to catch up here a little bit. Let's do... all right. I'm going to go into some 80s X-Men. I'm already kind of there, so I'm just going to keep it in that zone. All right. Oh, I got a bunch of 80s X-Men going on here. Because that was when I really started reading as a kid. Was in the mid 80s all the way through the early 90s. That was really when I was into it a bunch. A novel on Weapon X that's good. Oh, that sounds interesting. There it is. JP with the same feeling for all new Wolverine. So let's talk about, this is 1990. Uncanny X-Men 268, which I adored this book when I think I have 3 copies or 4 copies of this book now. I have some newsstands, some direct editions, this nice slabbed one with the fun logo. Something about the way this story is told, the amazing Jim Lee artwork, the skipping back forward in time, and then this cover. I mean, I think I had this as a t-shirt as a kid. It's just an absolute beauty. And the way that the story is told, it hooked me. And I used to even take tracing paper, Chet, close your ears, and like try to trace Cap and this cover. And I definitely ruined my copy of this. Now I have 4 other ones. So good. There's a JCPenney version, says Big Will. I do not have that. Unworthy Entertainment. Hello to you. Yeah, there's definitely some Jim Lee going on in here for sure. Not happy with the grade. I'm fine with a 9.6. Absolutely fine. So this is definitely childhood for me all the way. Interiors of that issues are some of Jim Lee. Yes, this issue I think doesn't get enough praise, and it connects some fun dots between the early Captain America in the like, I think they probably put it during World War II, and who Logan was at that time, and young Natasha, all the way to sort of modern era, right, which is where this cover takes place, and you get a fun look at Madripoor. Is that how you say it? Madripoor, the hive of scum and villainy in the mutant universe. Absolutely cool. Great use of that city. So yeah, so it's such a great book. So there you go. 18. What are we at? I think it's 18. I already lost count. I already forgot. I believe that was 18. Sure, it's 18. This is why counting to 50 is rough for me. I'm going to count these next 2 as 1. I'm cheating again. So 19 would be 200 and 201. If I had to pick one X-Men book, it would probably be 200 or 200, 201. I really do love the original Trial of Magneto. I think is just an absolute great read and so important to the direction that they were going on the X-Men. And then the change of leadership with this issue between Cyclops and Storm. This is really when X-Men found its new life, right? After the Byrne era, it was kind of trying to find its way. And I feel like for me, this is the beginning of the next evolution of the X-Men. And this, so this is, yeah, my number 19, absolutely one of my favorites. I mean, yeah, I don't know if this is considered an arc, but for me, I can't separate the story that's happening here for me. They just really fit together. So 19? Sure, 19. X-Men are very traceable, says Kyle. I mean, don't tell Chet, but yes. And then 20. Let's go. 20 is going to be another like all-in-one thing here. And that's basically the Mutant Massacre, the Marauders Massacre. And so I love this storyline. I like seeing Sabretooth get his booty kicked like over and over again, which definitely happens a lot in this. Very bloody storyline. I like what they do with Shadowcat or Kitty Pryde. I think is really great. I've been slowly trying to snag some higher grade copies of this run. These 4 issues in particular are just an absolute banger read. A lot of entertainment to be had. And my nostalgia of X-Men is all right there in that mid-'80s, as JP jokingly said earlier. Yes, Alan Davis, very good art. Good point right there. Magneto and Professor X and the Professor X in the X-Men are like Splinter and Shredder. Ooh, interesting. I mean, there's some similarities for sure. Shredder, though, is so much more maniacal and so much more like devious, whereas Magneto's right. Let's be honest. Magneto's right. And then one more from that late 80s I'll do, because this is 86. X Factor. There you go, Chet. A 9/8 X-Men book related, adjacent. Good morning, Robert. How are you doing? So yeah, this era of X Factor, the original issues, I really just feel like Louise Simonson doing a really great job. And I love the character that they created with Apocalypse. And I read these early X Factor books a ton as a kid. Mine are definitely nowhere near this grade. So absolutely would rank super high on my list of favorite stories. If you get in and do the first 10 or 12 issues of X Factor, you're going to get a lot of great story, especially around the original X team and this guy, Apocalypse, becoming an absolute beast in that universe. Great, great creation. All right, I'm going to save some of the other X-Men books for later. Let's do some indies. So that is 21, right? That was 20, 21. All right, let's try to get through some others a little quicker. Hey, G.I. Joe. I'm a big G.I. Joe fan. Before Hank was blue, he turns blue again in that run, right? Yeah, absolutely. Kenneth Bird, good morning. So this is 22 now. G.I. Joe, I read a ton as a kid. The silent issue in particular, one of my favorites. And Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, 2 really great characters that, for me, were the highlight of that book. Every time I got another Storm Shadow or Snake Eyes ninja fight, I was all in. And this one, with the Snake Eyes breaking in to rescue Scarlet, great book. Just an absolute iconic book for me from that. Again, what are we in the late 80s? Yeah, mid 80s, 84. So you can tell when I started collecting, because a lot of my jams tend to fall into that time frame, right? I'm going to tuck that in carefully. I don't want to accidentally bump into anything. So I'm doing some indie aside books. Let's talk about, so it was 22, 23. Descender is my favorite indie comic book. This is my favorite variant from it, where they're doing the Where the Wild Things Are dance. And This is a heartbreaking, beautiful, and wild ride through outer space. If you haven't read Descender, I'm a big proponent of you checking it out. He's excited. He knows what's up. That's because he knows what's up. Yeah, that silent issue is a phenomenal read. Really, I mean, it's hard to say read. View. It's a viewing. But Descender, great book. If you like science fiction at all, if you like outer space, robots galore. Driller is a killer. I'm absolutely a fan. There he is. There's my guy. And so this is issue number 29. And I don't know if this is the cover C or D. It's not A or B, but it's a really, really great one. I like a little bit of everything. I can appreciate everything. And I haven't done much DC yet. I got Batman next. Don't worry. We'll do Batman next. Okay. So there's an image book. Here's another image book. So that was, let's see, 22, 20. I think that was 22. All right. Let's do 23, and I'm going to hold these two together. This is Image Zero, which goes kind of after the mini series of Savage Dragon. And this is issue number 1 from the mini series, signed by Eric Larson. And I absolutely adore the character. I think Savage Dragon is a great character. He's, for me, the best of the original Image characters. I can appreciate those people who love Spawn. I just never got into Spawn. I tried the first 10 or 12, and Image, here's what, 24. Hey, wait, you're counting them separate? You counting them combined or separate? This is one. This character, somebody who has no memory of who they are, no memory of where they came from, but still feels the need to use their incredible strength and invulnerability to help other people. It speaks really to the core of who people are, right? And I think that was really beautiful. I think I've got 2 or 3, Big Will, but I don't think I have all 4. Yes, there was a cartoon for this. There was, and it wasn't very long lived. I don't think it got a second season. So we're at 24. All right. I just really love the character. If you haven't read the 3-issue miniseries, you can probably find them in a 50-cent bin or a $1 bin or a quarter bin somewhere. Really, really great. So Image Zero is a fun little tag on to that early era. If you haven't read it, I recommend that as well. All right. Okay. And let's stop. 25 will be a great stopping spot here because we'll take a little break over to some DC next. 25 is going to be Why the Last Man. There are a bunch of great Vertigo books that I've loved, and a bunch of ones that I've jumped into and found later on. But Why the Last Man was probably my favorite when I was reading them off the shelf. And I read Why the Last Man probably from issue 20 on in individual issues, but the trades are the ones I read for the early issues. I got this book just last year, and it's just a phenomenal series. It's just a really great read, very exciting, very interesting look at gender relations. And I think Brian K. Vaughan is just super talented. And Pia Guerrera, right? Pia Guerrera. Am I sounding? Yeah, Pia Guerrera. Really great artist. So here, issue number 1 of Why the Last Man. That puts us at 25. All right. Tuck that in around the corner. I'm going to drink a little water. And I'm going slow, JP. I'm going to try to get back on track. It's all right, Kyle. Thank you for letting. So that is cover B. I thought it was cover C. All right. Here we go. Batman time, folks. And I'm going to hit off with the banger in the lot here. It's 3 books, JP, but I'm counting it as 1 because they're all the same book. Poison Ivy, man. I love Poison Ivy. Just like Magneto is right, Poison Ivy is right too. Poison Ivy's not wrong. She's just bad about how she goes about it. But this book is phenomenal. And just for launching this character, the cover is really fun. I adore this book. So if you're lucky enough to find one with the poster intact, definitely worth having. Sorry that the color is a little orangey. It should be more red. It's more red on my end, but the color's a little off on my camera today. I absolutely think this character is great. And the new series they're doing is very, 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 very good too. So what I have here is one, obviously, encapsulated version I have one that has the insert on the inside, but is pretty beaten. And one that's even maybe just as beaten, but is missing the insert on the inside. So I've got a few different copies of 181. Hi, Charlie. You want to go get your bagel? It's down in the kitchen. Good morning. One of my kids is awake, but it's probably because I'm so loud. So there you go. Kicking off Batman with a bang. There is number 26. And I got to find a new storage spot there. 26. All right. 27 is my other favorite Batman villain, and that's Two-Face. This is the first post-Golden Age appearance of Harvey Dent Two-Face, and an amazing Neil Adams cover. I just love the character. I think the character highlights the same duality inside of Bruce, and I think they have a lot of things in common, and I love stories that utilize the yin and yang of these two guys. I think there's a lot of really good stuff there. What is going on? I do not have her second appearance, Big Will, not yet. Charlie, let me make some room for her. So yeah, this would be, see, 26, 27. That's 27 books here. Charlie is here now, so I'm going to make some room for her. Oh, move some stuff around. I got books everywhere. Tilt a little bit. Be careful of books around you down here. I'm going to put that there, and then you have room for your plate. You're going to have to like pivot in sideways there. There's a Charlie. Good morning. There's a kid. All right, so we're 27 out of 50. Yeah, it's a Silver Age first appearance in that Two-Face hadn't appeared since the Golden Age, but technically that book came out in the Bronze era, so yeah, you decide for you what you want to call it. I just call it good reading. So 26, 27, 28. Year one. I absolutely anything Miller and Mazzucchelli is huge for me. So of course 28 is going to be year one. Worth reading. If you've never read Batman Year One, it is a great way to jump into this character in this universe. So yeah, there's no book better. Although closely behind it would probably be included with The Dark Knight Returns. This would be 29, right? 26, 27, 28, 29. Yes. I picked this cover because I always remember this series as being like the first time I really saw Superman and Batman brawl, like just go at it. And so this is always going to be that book. They're both Frank Miller. Yeah. So this is Frank Miller with artist David Mazzucchelli. And this is Frank Miller with Klaus Janson being his inker, but like basically helping him finish the artwork. So this is more of Miller doing his own stuff. So there you go. The star of the show is here, so the show can start, says Jeffrey. So that's 29. Let's see. 30 is going to be some Turner artwork. So when I first got back into collecting, this was hot on the shelves, and I was getting to know who Jeff Loeb was and reading his run of Batman, Superman, or what do they call it? Yeah, Superman, Batman is so good. It's so great. I have it in color as well. If you guys want it, it's easier to see on the monitor probably in color. But this is just a really fun series. There's a great trade that has, I think, the first 2 story arcs. I read all the way until Jeff Loeb stopped writing it. That's when I got away from it. But it was so much fun. Yeah. So I had to snag every printing, basically every cover. I tried to get it, and I got multiples the whole way through because I just was like, wow, this guy is so talented. This artist really can do them. And then I didn't, little did I know, of course, that many of us know that he was ill and not going to be around and with us for very long. Superman shot first. Oh, did he? Was that 30? Right. That was 29 and then 30. So that puts me at 30, I believe. 31. Hush. Hush, hush. I love this cover. It's the cover from this run, even though this run has a lot of great covers. This Loeb and Lee. Again, when I got back into collecting, Jeff Loeb was writing everything. So I was definitely picking up anything he did, and I was following Jim Lee, the artist, right wherever he went. So had to snag this book as well. So this puts me at 30, JP. Am I doing all right? Right, JP? Right? 30? Definitely recommend Hush. And then 31, I got recently this retelling of the origin of the second Robin. And you get to see how his stealing the wheel off the Batmobile may have earned him a spot on the roster of the Bat family. So I do love this cover. I think it's a great way to do that. So this is 31 now, JP. Oh yeah, 31. He's tracking me. He's tracking me, keeping me on task, keeping me where I gotta be. All right, I got some big Will stuff. Tell Johnny's only on number 21. They don't want me to go on forever. They want me to end. Love the yellow the Batman with the yellow belt, right? The bright blue and the yellow belt. I totally agree. I'm not a big fan of the like all in black Batman. That's not my guy. I like the blue and the gray and the yellow. What are you gonna do? John, stop counting. You're bad at it. I mean, it's true. So my favorite Wonder Woman cover, if Magic Lasso's in the chat, is this one. I just love it. And again, Michael Turner, really great artwork. The lighting is what makes this work for me. Off of her visor, off of her, any of the gold on her costume, just the light popping off of this. So this is 32. And I just, Identity Crisis is one of my favorite of the crises that they've done over at DC. I'm not a huge fan of the crises, but this one had an emotional wallop for me. And this cover is the main reason to get it. You got to, if you don't get this cover, you're missing out. This is the one. This is the winner. 32. All right, 33, Big Will, is a double up again because I couldn't pick which of the Nick Cardy covers I liked the most. And Nick Cardy did these amazing Aquaman covers. So this is issue 42. And I got these from Big Will. Fantastic Girl, what's going on? So this is 33, right? And I'll count this one as also 33. This is issue 37. The use of color, the use of detail, the use of perspective, the use of the character being put into focus in a really fun way. Nick Cardy is amazing. This is 34. All right. You can't double up on me. 33 was the Turner, 34 is the Aquaman. All right, there we go. So I couldn't pick which one of these I love. I love them both. If you've never heard of Nick Cardy, you should look him up on Google and find all the amazing covers he's done, but mostly it's these amazing Aquaman. I'm kind of ignoring JP. 34. Right, there we go. 34. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure the ones I've done. I've done that one. 34. All right. Let's talk about the Punisher. Those are my Batman. I'm kind of done with most of Batman. Yeah, I think I'm done with Batman and the Justice League for the most part, but I got a little bit left here. I got a little bit of some stuff there. I love Punisher War Journal. In fact, I posted this morning my set of War Journal books. And this awesome trade paperback, if you haven't read Jim Lee's artwork and Carol Potts' story for the first Punisher War Journal storyline, Eye for an Eye. And one of the things I mentioned really loving about it is the way they tell one story up on top, like a modern story. And then at the bottom, they use like these little bookmark spaces to do like a silent flip story where you get to see what happened to Frank Miller and his family. So it's like an origin story and a news story told simultaneously. Really beautifully done. I don't know if they collect this in a trade paperback anymore, but I got this a long time ago. I saw it and I was, yes, I need to collect this. Yeah, the white boot. This is my Punisher, man. I like the Punisher in the weird spandex, the white gloves and the white boots and yeah. This is OG Punisher for sure. But it's also incredibly violent and perfectly amazing with the Jim Lee artwork. So absolutely a great read. So 35, JP, 35. Punisher is 35. Since I'm in that Punisher street level, guys, I'm going to finish that grouping off with my Daredevil books. That Eye for an Eye was my first ever Punisher, but it's a perfect jumping on point for Punisher. Absolutely. So let's talk about Klaus Janson again and Frank Miller. So 36. Sure. These were like classic wall books when I was a kid. Seeing these Frank Miller story, Daredevil books, Guns, Dirty Harry homage, and the underappreciated Klaus Janson really doing top-notch work, finishing work on the Miller art. So absolutely love these books. So this is 36. Is that what we said? Are you keeping track now, Charlie? 36. Sure. I love these. If you haven't read Miller on Daredevil, you're missing out on this as well, because 37 is Born Again. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. Perry says, oh, Daredevil. Love it. You can almost taste the sarcasm. It's the best. Very well read. So yeah, 37 has to be Born Again. Really do think this is Miller and Mazzucchelli again, the same people doing Year One, doing Born Again. It's the best Daredevil story, just like that was my favorite Batman story. So it all goes together. Yes, Klaus has a very good signature, and he's a really, really nice guy. If you go to a con and find him there, just buy a book at a booth and bring it over to him, because it's worth the time. So did we say 37, Charlie? Was that 37?
36. 37.
I think we said 37. 38. I said I liked Bendis's run on Daredevil too. I love this cover as Daredevil becomes the Kingpin of New York. It's just, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. I love the nun on the top left. I mean,
Was it none?
yeah, right here in the box square, because Daredevil learns that that's his mom. That's the big twist. Spoiler alert on a book from the late 80s or early 80s.
His mom was a nun.
His mom is a nun.
Wow,
They did it on the show as well, as I recall. It was what's that actress's name? Scalera. Annabella Sciarra, yeah. My wife right over there. Yeah. She played the nun, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, Daredevil as Kingpin, really, really great. Super great read. So this is issue 50, but Bendis starts in the like teens and then goes on from there. The first portion was Kevin Smith, and then there's the David Mack, and then it moves into Bendis. 38. Sure. 39. Kirby. This is probably my favorite Daredevil cover, issue 43. So 39. Is that what we said? This is 39. Yeah. Just a great cover. Look at the flying fist. I don't know who Captain America is trying to punch. It's clearly not Daredevil, but his aim is way off. But I love it. It's amazing. 39.
Yes, sir. You know who?
E-Man, what is going on? Villains unite. Worst drawn punch ever. But that's what Kirby does. The flying Kirby fists. I just adore this cover. I just adore it. I'm all about it. Jack Kirby greatness for me. Socking it to you, baby. He did a lot of boxing. He could absolutely really draw that well. That should have been my swing and a miss, JP, but I'd already used that cover earlier in the week, and I felt like I didn't want to use it twice. You're clipping the video, but not telling me why. It's okay. You go. You do you, Kyle. You do you. All right, let's jump back over. So 39. Perfect. We'll finish Daredevil off with number 40. That leaves me 10 spots left. I'm sorry, Chet. It's not a 9.8, but a 9.6 of the first Elektra, even if her name is misspelled, still worth it. This came from my buddy Tyler, and Trevor. And I'm so sorry about the fact that they spelled her name wrong. Like it's a tragedy, but the character is amazing. Elektra and Daredevil, the current run uses her so well. This issue is just, it is so pivotal to the journey of Daredevil. I can't even imagine that they took 167 issues to find her, like to find this character that he so needs in his orbit. Elektra is vital to the story of Daredevil, but they did 160 issues before they got around to her. There you go. First appearance of Elektra with a C and a K. Both letters. You get both. So that's 40. All right. Let's see how many I got left. 1, 2. JP's not going to like how I'm counting that as 3, 4, 5. All right. I think I'm doing okay. I think I'm doing all right. Oh, I forgot my green lanterns. 6, 8. Cool. It's going to be tight, folks. It's going to be tight. All right. So here we go. I'm going to go with the last of my indies. I'm going to do 100 Bullets next. So if you haven't heard of the series 100 Bullets, I highly recommend it. I'm not going to count issue 1 as the one. Instead, I'm going to pick issue 50. This is when the comic really kicked it into a new gear and started connecting some of the dots. So issue 50, I thought was a really, really great book. I even had Brian Azzarello sign it in Baltimore when I saw him. It's just a great read. And the artwork is just so unique. I think it's really Eduardo Rizzo does really, really great stuff. These are covers by John. What's his name? Johnson. Alec would know. I'm sorry, his first name. But I just love the art style. I think they're really, really amazing. Tried to use the Widow for that role forever, but finally found the right. Yeah, they tried to have Black Widow be the love interest of Daredevil. It just was a really good call to move on. So 100 Bullets. If you like noir, if you like crime, if you like twists and turns, it's a 100-issue run. Really worth the time. So that's 41. JP, I'm going to count all of this as 42. It's Fables. And I picking one issue of Fables is impossible. I'm not going to pick issue 1. I have those. I do love this cover. Fables is just a really fun story. It's just absolutely fantastic. Solid List, been listening since book 5. Hey, thanks, Comic Head. Kenny's in the chat. I would probably pick the love story involving Bigby Wolf and Snow White as my focus. So something in these issues, they called it Storybook Love, would probably be something I would pick from, but really great. I just love the characters. I love everything. It's a Fables lot. Yeah, that's what it is. Sure, it counts as one. Fables, just Fables. I just really think it's a great series. And if you have never tried Vertigo before, definitely can't help but recommend that. So that was seriously 42. I think it was 42. Sure. Fables lot was number 42. All right, I'll include this as because it was part of my thumbnail. Let's move back into the X-Men books. Uncanny X-Men and the New Teen Titans. I mean, come on. It's everything you wanted. Wolfman and Perez meets Byrne and Claremont, and it's all just included in greatness here. John, 100 books in his top 50. No worse than the boy who had 7 putting 25 characters in his top 10. Sure. Back cover just as amazing with Dark Side. So great. This is a really fun crossover. And for somebody that was reading a ton of New Teen Titans and Uncanny X-Men, this was just my jam. I'm just sitting here being a hype man, says Carrie. Hey, what's up, Crystal's in the chat too. Good to see you, Crystal. Me Comics, what's going on, Emmy? Good to see you. So yeah, I mean, it's a one-off, it's a one-shot, but it's a large format size. This was $2 back in the day, but great artwork, great characters, and I just look at the cast, man. Look at X-Men and the New Teen Titans together. Come on, all day. So 43. There we go. 43. And while we're on it, it's X-Men 101. I don't know how to explain it better than that. It's my favorite comic book cover. I just absolutely think the detail work is amazing. This is Cockrum, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Cockrum really just doing a great job. The color of the water, the reactions of the characters. The only thing that's missing is Colossus and Wolverine, but the problem is they're probably so heavy with all the metal in their bodies that they're at the bottom of the ocean, so we wouldn't see them anyways. It's just a masterpiece, a great reinvention to a character, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So there you go. 40. Oh, I already lost count again. I'm killing it here. 45, 44. Damn it. I'm really getting near the end. The thirst of Cyclops. Yes. Look how thirsty he is. He's drinking all the water. He wants all the water. Drink it up, buddy. Drink it up. I mean, let's just call that 45 because I think I'm at where I need to be if that's 45. Why not? Jon Stewart as the Green Lantern. Like, it needs to happen. So I had been hunting for this book for a long time, and it's hard to. It's not a square bound. I learned it's just an oversized. But the problem is because it's so big, you tend to get a lot of issues with the spine, a lot of issues that damage the book. But he is my Green Lantern. I've always preferred Jon Stewart. Something about his the mentality that he has as a hero. That's so he puts as much pressure on himself as somebody like Batman does. You know, I just really feel like he is just the best. He's just the best. And even had a little action figure guy to go with it. There's John. Who doesn't love a good John? So there he is. Jon Stewart. 46.
I like every John except for this one.
47 is going to be Tom King's Mr. Miracle. And I couldn't pick between these two books here. Yeah. It's just great. Darkseid and Mitch Gerrard's is amazing. And I just think Tom King's Mr. Miracle is a beast. John is the worst name for a Green Lantern, in my opinion, says Man Cave. I don't know. When did that come out, Carrie? So Mr. Miracle is a great read if you haven't done it yet. And these two covers are just absolute masterpieces. I had to bring this one to Baltimore because all that black space, I needed them to sign it. So Mitch and Tom both signed it for me. And it's just great. It's heart-wrenching and beautiful. It's a wonderful update to what Kirby had created in the Mr. Miracle character. So there you go. 47. And I got 48 for 950. I got 3 left. 3 left. That's Darkseid. It's very Planet of the Apes, right? The subtle details on it. John, that's because she doesn't like this. John, she loves him. So it was part of Dark Crisis. So yeah, I've avoided Dark Crisis completely. At some point, I need to read it. Now, King John would be a great name for a Green Lantern. All right. Speaking of Darkseid, how about a first appearance of Darkseid with a Neil Adams signature and remark on it?
And Jimmy Olsen.
It's Jimmy Olsen's Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, issue 134.
Superman's ex-pal.
Yeah, because he's like turned Superman over to these bad guys who are going to take him away to judge him. But the real value of this book is the fact that Darkseid makes a really weird, subtle cameo appearance in this book. Neil Adams is the creator artist. So I got a copy that had his signature and the remark of Darkseid on it. Got to do it, man. Darkseid is Krusty Butland, says Harley Quinn. Well, there you go. I love this book. Absolutely great character. And the remark makes it work. The remark absolutely is why I'm happy to have this. 48 means I got 2 left. So let's do my favorite DC villain. Oop, the camera's there doing its thing. Is Sinestro. And so I finally, after years of hunting for this book, this last year, got my first appearance of Sinestro, Green Lantern number 7, 2.5. Good morning, Raging Cajun. What's going on? So I know he's not on the cover. I do need to get an issue 9 where it's his first cover appearance. But Sinestro is really, he's the Magneto of the DC universe. And as much as I love Poison Ivy, Sinestro just barely ekes out a win over her. I just think he's a really interesting bad guy. And they use him so well. Yeah, he's using his ring for a peeping Tom, which is why another reason why Hal Jordan shouldn't be the best Green Lantern. He's way down the list. He's like scanning them. So yeah, Sinestro, amazing. Number 49 out of 50. And I've got to finish with an X-Men book. Number 1. The reason why Giant Size X-Men isn't on my list is because this book is on my list. And I absolutely, for me, this was always the book that brought the team into the book, into the title, right? Giant Size X-Men always felt like an annual, and I love it. And it's a great book and hugely important. But 94 was always more important to me. So I've just always valued this as the real first appearance of these characters. It's not in any way, but it is in my mind. It always just kind of has been. Of course, I finished with a Storm book, and at least she's on the cover right there, flying out of the Nefario's mouth.
I think she's actually being like blown out.
Well, he's like causing their ship to crash. He's not actually floating in the sky, but there he is. At least you finished with a Storm book. It had to happen. Where does Kyle Rayner fit? That's really good. There's a ton. The problem is there's so many Green Lanterns. It depends on how many you go with, right? Because Kilowog would rank above Kyle. I love Kilowog a ton. Great Green Lantern.
What about Joe?
Yeah, Sojourner, the newer Far Sector Green Lantern, ranks really high for me. I like her a lot. Kyle Rayner is the most powerful Green Lantern. I will put him at that spot. He is the most powerful of all the Green Lanterns and has been basically at different points almost godlike as the Green Lantern. All right, so there you go. 50 done. 1 through 50 with a ton of extras thrown in, as JP says. Got lots of extras in there. Only 2 matter for Matt. He says Hal and John. There you go. All Green Lanterns above Hal, and Wally is the better Flash, says Big Will. And you know what? A lot of Flash fans have that same view, Big Will, that once you start reading and you get to the Wally West stuff, you realize why he's a better Flash.
Why is he a better Flash?
You've been reading a bunch of the Flash. Who do you like better? Barry Allen or Wally West?
Which one's Wally?
Wally's the younger one. He's also the one on the new Teen Titans with Robin.
Yeah, I like him more.
Yeah.
But why is he the best?
Well, he's supposed to be faster than Barry.
Is that because he's younger?
I don't know if it's because he's younger. There it is. Yes. Kilowog Yapoozer.
Oh, how does he become like the Flash, Wally?
How does Wally become the Flash? I don't remember that story. I don't know that I read it. Charlie had a bagel and some yogurt, and now she's up and ready for the day.
Ready for more Ted Lasso.
Oh, she's been watching Ted Lasso as well.
And I'll eat more of that.
So I don't want to keep you too long. It's been an hour and 15 minutes. This guy spurned me to do this. His channel is linked down below, but so did BiggieShaq. I want to shout out BiggieShaq as well. So don't forget that. I put those 2 links down below. If you want to see more people doing this, top 50s, sharing their 50 books, not necessarily the most valuable, just the ones that really mean a lot to us. I don't know who to like officially tag for this. If there's anybody in the chat that wants to play the game, please do it. Make your video, share 50 books that mean something to you, make a live stream, share those 50 books that mean something to you, because it's wonderful to get a little bit further from the speculation stuff and focus on the books that have meaning to us, whether that's a story or an artist or a cover or what have you. Just some level of value, because it's more than just the money that we spend, right? Anything you want to share, Charlie?
Can I watch Ted Lasso?
She wants to go watch Ted Lasso. So we're going to roll and get out of here. If you want to be tagged, count yourself as tagged. And if you make a video and share it with me, remind me, I will share it on my community tab and shout you out and let other people know, right? Who did you want to miss? Good luck, Charlie. Yeah, she's got a soccer game in a few, like 6 hours from now. So we're going to relax this morning, do some laundry and watch some TV, and then be ready for her game later. Thanks, everybody, for coming and hanging out. And I'm sorry that the Saturday shows haven't been super consistent. Some of our soccer mornings are very early. We're in the house before we can make the show.
Oh, we have birthday parties.
We are good to go today. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you again soon.